why do we need to manage natural resources? Natural resources are resources that occur naturally in our surroundings like air, water, sunlight, soil, minerals, forests, wildlife, etc., which supports or which can be utilized for our survival. The human population around the world accounts for more than 7 billion, and we are directly or indirectly dependent on these resources. Think for a while. What happens if all resources gets depleted within a short time frame? It becomes impossible to survive on Earth. So, we need to manage the natural resources as resources on Earth are limited. Yes, you heard it right. Resources are limited, and if we overexploit the resources, they become non-restorable. The resources can be categorized as non-renewable and renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources which can be replenished by itself in a short period of time, like air, water, sunlight, etc. Non-renewable resources are those resources which cannot be replenished because they are limited in supply and takes millions of years to form. For example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. There are enough resources for everybody's needs, but not enough for anybody's greed. So the overexploitation of any resource will lead to its disappearance from the earth. One of the main reasons for the depletion of natural resources is the increasing world population. As the population increases, the demand for resources is also increasing. In order to avoid the depletion of resources, proper management is required. The management of resources ensures that we fulfill the needs of the present generation as well as by saving and preserving for the future generations, resources will last for generations to come. It will ensure that resources are not exploited for short-term profit. The main causes of exploitation includes pollution of various resources, wastage of resources, decrease in forest covers, and all anthropogenic activities which decrease the quality of nature. There are international laws, different acts, organizations, etc. enforced to safeguard the environment. The awareness about these problems had led to the conservation of environment and its resources. For example, Ganga Action Plan. In 1985, Ganga Action Plan was implemented as a massive multi-crore project which is undertaken to make the Ganga pollution free. It was noticed that because of continuous dumping of garbage into river Ganga, the pH level altered and the number of coliform bacteria had risen to an alarming level. Coliform bacteria is otherwise found in human intestine. Most coliform bacteria are not harmful. However, some can make people sick when he or she is exposed to these bacteria. As people use water for bathing, washing clothes and many other cleaning activities, upset stomach, vomiting, fever or diarrhea are some of the most common symptoms. Namami Ganga program is another integrated mission work approved by the flagship program combines to attain sustainable results. We can reduce all destructible pressures on the environment and its resources by following the concept named 5 Rs, which means to refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose and recycle. The literal meaning of refuse is to say no to things that people offer you that you don't need. Say for example, say no to the usage of plastics. To refuse means avoiding the usage of products which are harmful to the environment. Example, we should say no to single-use plastic bags. To reduce means to lessen the usage of materials that can seriously harm the environment. If people stop using these materials, it will have a great impact and the production of such materials will also eventually reduce. Example, avoid water wastage. Close taps when not in use or while brushing teeth, which conserves water. Switch off the lights or fans when not in use, which saves electricity. And don't waste papers, which saves the trees, etc. Think of some ideas which can save our environment by reducing the use. The third R. Reuse, that means to collect and use materials repeatedly so that they do not need to be bought again and again. This is bound to reduce the sale of such items and their production as well, which has a great potential to save the environment. For example, plastic bottles. Repurpose is another type of recycling method to reduce waste. Most of the household items can be repurposed and used with another motive. Recycle involves the collecting of items like plastic, paper, glass, metal and use of these materials to make new products instead of using new plastic items. For example, upcycled ladder can be made into a bookshelf. Tires of old vehicles can be designed to grow new plants. Plastic, glass, metal items can be recycled instead of synthesizing or extracting new ones. Reuse is better than recycling and it saves energy. Sustainable management of resources is a long-term perspective that ensures the equitable distribution of resources for all and the future generations to come. Sustainable management aims at the usage of resources wisely so that they meet the current basic human needs while preserving them for the needs of the future generations. So the conclusion is, we need to use our resources carefully because they are limited and the demand for all resources are increasing as the human population is increasing at a tremendous rate. So, we need to properly manage the use of natural resources as its overuse can cause exploitation.